Here we go. We're in programming exercise 2-6. Now, we've got to be careful when it comes to what we do and what we modify when it comes to these labs. Now, these are very sensitive in some instances, and if you decide, oh, I don't like what they called something, and you want to change the variable name, they may look and test a variable name within the code itself. And if you've changed that variable name, even though it may have the correct value and the right time and place and everything, by name it's gone. It says you didn't do what you were supposed to do, even though the program does function the way that it's supposed to. So when they provide us with these names and values to start out with, like they have here, they've created a constant double of base at 200, hourly rate at 150, and a mill rate at 2. We leave those the same. We don't change those values. And we'll add other values to it as we go. So let's jump in here, create a new line, and we'll create some variables. All right. So let's come up with hours. We'll call it a double. Double hours. I'm not happy with the fact that they've got a constant and they're calling it base and it's lowercase. But it is what it is. We'll go with it. So we'll come up with hours and miles. And we'll do move estimate. And we'll close that out at that point. So we've got some doubles we've declared. And we'll come up with a string that is our input value. Now from there, let's come down and we're going to prompt the user to give us some input. We'll do right line, get our parentheses, get our quotes. I'll go ahead and terminate it, the end of the statement right now. So tell them to enter the hours for the job. So we prompted them for that, and now we will acquire that value. So we've got our input value equals, and it's going to come in as a string, and input value, you see up above, we declared it as a string, and we'll go ahead and read line and terminate it at the end. So the next thing we're going to do is we've got to take that and convert it into something we can manipulate mathematically. So I can do it in a way where we're going to take hours equals, and we'll take that input value and we're going to convert it to a double. Double dot parse input value. So we've taken what we read. A lot of times I'll do this in one step. I'm going to do it in 2 steps here so we can see that it's happening step by step. We come down, we've read what they've input, the number of hours, and we've converted it into a double and stored it in hours. So from here, we'll get the number of miles, enter the number of miles for the job, and end that statement. They've got the prompt. Now we're going to receive something. And what we're going to receive, we'll store it in that same storage location in input value. We'll receive something in, and now we're going to take what we just received, and we're going to put that not in hours, we're going to put it in miles. Okay. So our acquisition component is very similar from the one step to the next. The next that we're going to do is we'll have move estimate is equivalent to, and that'll be our base rate, or it's our base, I mean. We've got to use the variable they gave us. Base plus, and that'll be hours times hourly rate. And then take that and add that to our miles times mile rate. So that'll give us our move estimate. Go ahead and put our semicolon, come down, and let's just do a right line. Do our open and close, open and close. Go ahead and terminate this thing out. And, you know, I like to take what they give me, and we'll put that in there. So now, this is 25. 25 is hours. We'll start out with index 0. Come over here, comma, hours. And what's after hours is the miles. Index of 1, and there's miles. The only other thing we have is here, and that will be index 2. And index 2, what value is that? Now that's our move estimate. Now move estimate, we need to have that converted to currency. Now what we'll do is we'll put 2 colon C. Let's go run this thing. Yeah, it's got a little issue. Where's our little issue at? Line 7 wants all those constants separate. That's not a problem. Can't declare constants on the same line. But for some reason, I started out with it that way. Plug that in. Let's see how we do now. Yeah, they want them separate. I'm forgetting this too. Let's back up and not make them a constant. Starting to think that my starting point for this assignment Should have refreshed it because it might have had something bad in it. Needs a space there. Wonder what's going on here. I should have no problem here the way that it's written. Let's call it base rate. See if that'll take it. See if that helps us some. And then I just got to come down here and call it base rate. There we go. Little things. Reserved word base. And hours for the job. I'll do 45. Miles. 22. So it went. Starting to think this was modified at some point. Might have let somebody in here and played with this at some point. I should have reset it. Go ahead and test it. We got 2 of 2. If I was going to use a constant, I'd have to declare the constant first. So I'd say constant base rate, or constant double base rate, and then initialize it. We can't declare and initialize at the same time. So they want that done separately. By going through and doing it this way, we declared these. They're all variables. These were initialized, these weren't. And I could have done them all in one line. But it all worked out for us. The logic of what we did, we're good. We brought that in and put it into a double, or converted it to a double, put it in hours. Did the same thing, put it in miles. We explained as we did it what was going on here. And right there we went to decimal points as currency. Okay, so I'll see you in 2-7.